Obviously, things are absolutely crazy right now. The country, the politics, everything is in chaos, and the real estate market has high interest rates. There's that commission lawsuit that's changing and all the things. But I'm here to talk to you about buying a home in an election year. Should you wait or should you dive in? We're going to cover that and more next. What's up, guys? I'm Jeremy Kane with Living in the Denver Suburbs, eXp Realty. I am here today to talk all about this specific time period that we're living in. What a crazy time it's been. But I do talk all things Denver and the suburbs and real estate on this channel, on these social media platforms. So please, follow me on the Instagram and Facebook. Give me a subscribe on YouTube. I'd be forever grateful. And I love keeping you all informed on what's going on. So let's dive in. First and foremost, as a buyer, we want to talk about and let's squash the myth that interest rates absolutely go down every election year, blah, blah, blah. The truth is that's absolutely not true. But just for purposes of this, mortgage interest rates 18 to 20% in 1980. In 92, Clinton and Bush 8 to 9%. Bush and Gore 7 to 8%. 2008, Obama, McCain 6 to 5% of interest rates, and 2016, Trump versus Clinton, 3.5% to 4%. So let's talk about all of this and let's talk about those interest rates. The truth is that interest rates are largely unaffected by the presidential election. It depends on what the economy is. One thing I will tell you is the only presidential election year that the prices did decrease was 2008, when we had the housing market crash, the lending practices issues, and all of that. So across the board in those election years, prices have gone up moderately or steadily, or, only gone down that one time. So that's something that's out there, and I just want to put that out there as we roll. So we're talking about all of this election. I will tell you that this is probably the craziest election season we hopefully will ever see, with all the things that are happening, all the political rhetoric going back and forth, a country divided. And I'm not here to, talk politics or whatever, but this election feels just a little bit different, right? It feels like people are like, whoa, I got to take a step back because I have no idea what's going to go on with the presidency. The truth is, it doesn't really matter what happens with the presidency. You are still going to need a shelter to live in. And if that shelter can provide you a stepping stone to build your wealth, that would be in the form of homeownership. If, you just need a shelter to live in and you're renting, that's not going to help your wealth at all. So we need to really step back and talk about this. Now, some people might say, well, the market's at the top and we're going to sell. I talked about sellers last week, so we're just focusing on the buyers this week in that mindset. And if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're a move-up buyer, if you're looking to downsize, this will apply to you, because in your head, if you have a mortgage, it's probably at a lower interest rate than you could obtain right here, right now. However, if the home does not fit your needs, no matter what they are, whether it's size of home or stairs or any of that, then let's look at this and let's step back and see how can you make an educated decision that's going to best set you up and will be the best financial decision, but also provide that shelter that you're in need of. So let's kind of talk about this. First and foremost, buying a home is a 30-year commitment. So information is traveling so quickly right now. People are like, oh, what if the market crashes? What if the market goes down 5%? What if it doesn't gain 20% like it has over the last few years? Like, all of these what ifs. The truth is, the short term doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that you are comfortable in your payment. And if your employment is comfortable in your payment, great. And if it's not so comfortable, but you feel comfortable in your skills and you could get another job and you're, that for sure, then you're stable, right? The other economic factors, the president this, the president that, doesn't really matter, because the truth is none of this will matter in 5 to 10 years when you're actually looking to sell this home and move up, right? Maybe we do go down a little bit because of XYZ, but then guess what? If you hold on to it and you don't sell when it's down, you're building equity. And if nothing else, by your principal buy down, you are building a savings account, you're buying down that mortgage, you're paying back that deed or that deed of trust or that note as you go. And that's what matters, right? So you have these options. Appreciation is just the cherry on top, but you still have that shelter, right? If all things go awry, the market crashes, you lose 10% of value, you still have the shelter, right? And not saying that that's going to happen, but if it did, and you're comfortable in your mortgage payment, the point is just hang on while you can. Do everything you can to pay that mortgage and it'll be just fine. The point is, this is not a quick day trade or a stock trade. It is a 30-year commitment to your wealth and to you and your financial status. So this is exactly what we need to focus on and understand that it's not, today, tomorrow. At the end of the day, equity is monopoly money. It's not real. It's actually in your brain, right? It's someone's opinion of the price versus what you owe, and that's it, right? Someone's opinion of the price could be completely wrong. The market will dictate what the sales price is when it's on the market. And if it's not on the market, you are a long ways from making that asset liquid. Certainly there's refinance options and all the things, but you can use those to your advantage as well. If the interest rates do drop, you can refinance, lower that payment, and get more active in that piece of the process. So let's talk about the market crash. If the market crashed, right? What happens when the market crashes? Okay, there's a lot of buyers, there's a lot of competition. Typically, if the market crashes, interest rates go up. They usually are on a sliding scale. Right now, interest rates are high and prices are high. That's kind of an anomaly. If interest rates go low, the prices are going to go higher. If interest rates skyrocket, there's going to be less buying power and it's going to, hold down those prices. But if the market crashed today, as long as you owned a home, you would have a stable monthly cost, a stable home, and renting. If the market crashes and I as a landlord lose a home or have a vacancy or something like that, there's more people to rent to, right? If there's more people to rent to, I can charge more money. If I can charge more money, then you have to pay more money and you do not have control over that. And that right there is the biggest deterrent of a stock market crashing, to say, oh, I want to be a renter. Because if the housing market crashes and you're a renter and you're not ready to make the move and get that perfect, cherry deal, you're going to be stuck renting, and then you're going to be renting again, and then there's going to be more competition and the prices are going to go up, right? Foreclosure, same thing. A bunch of foreclosures come to the market. That means there's homeowners that are in need of shelter. Basic human need is shelter. If homeowners need the shelter, they're going to go to rent. If more people are demanding the rent, they can drive the prices up, and you as a renter are going to pay more. So even if there are foreclosures dropping your value of your home, your mortgage payment is going to be the same every single time. And this is not doom and gloom. This is not what's going to happen, but these are what people are saying. What if the market crashes? What if there's a bunch of foreclosures? Blah, blah, blah. That's what they're asking. That's their fear. And the truth is, if you are in home ownership during those times and you can afford your payment, you are going to come out on top. When the market turns around, when everybody's like, okay, there's a ton of deals, the interest rates are fine, let's go get it, then that's going to drive the prices right back up and eventually get you, in the black, and we'll be ready to roll, right? And so that's what we need to focus on. And then the long-term value of owning a home. 60 years, 6% appreciation on average in Denver. That's probably 65 or 70 now, dating myself a little bit, but you have to understand that it's a long-term play for the long-term value. You are throwing money away, 100% interest every time you pay a rent bill. And I get it. At the beginning of mortgages, your amortization set up where you're paying a ton of interest and not as much towards principal. But the point is, every single payment you're paying some. And typically the homes appreciate a little bit or stay flat. Very rarely do we see the huge downswing. And if we do, it's always followed by a pretty steep recovery. So understand the historical data and the long-term value of being a homeowner. As for Denver, we are pretty pretty insulated here. There's a lot of people that want to live here. Everything's growing. The job market's good. The population's growing. And that has significant impact on values, right? People want to be here. We have a beautiful state. We have access to the mountains. And so as a homeowner in this area, it costs a little more to get in, but that's as a result of people wanting to move here. People wanting to move here increase your home value. So understand that we have even shown resilience through these high interest rate times, through these kind of uncertain times. Denver seems to show resilience. So understand that as we're dealing with this election, we're dealing with all the real estate commission stuff. It is what it is. And that's the last thing I want to touch on is the real estate commission laws and lawsuits and all of that. The truth is that as a professional in the real estate industry, my job is to help you get into a home. My services aren't free, but as of right now, the sellers are mostly willing to offer those commissions on your behalf. So there's conversations, the contracts are changing a little bit. There may be a time where buyers do have to pay, the commission. But as for now, I've seen that mostly we're still kind of in that same piece. The point of all of it is that it's more transparent and that it's a negotiation tool when you're going to get under contract. So it's now more important than ever you have a strong negotiator as your real estate agent, because as part of this, your dollars out of pocket could be affected if your agent's just going to not negotiate that into the price and not into the contract, right? That is entering as a negotiation, section in our contract now as of August. So I'll handle all of that. You don't have to worry about all that. We will explain it when the time comes and you're looking to buy a house. But as somebody who is looking to make a move because you need a nice, bigger house or a nicer house or a smaller house or your first house, just get in the game. Let's have a conversation, book a call below, send me a DM, whatever you can do to make this happen. Now is the time, because no matter who's elected, we should see interest rates come down at some point in the next year or two. And when they do, there's going to be so many people flooded to the market that the interest rate savings is going to be wiped out by the demand and the price increases. So if you want to talk about that, if you want to make a plan, if you're like, Jeremy, I'm not ready, I don't care, but let's make a plan so you are ready, so you can get ready, so you can enjoy the benefits of home ownership. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm probably going to go catch some fish. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.